Thank you. So check this out, guys. I'm only in front of you guys for a short period of time, and I only really want to talk to you guys about two things. The first thing is opportunities, and the second thing is life. Right, so as Miss Landis said, I grew up here in York, Pennsylvania, 28 now, so sometimes people say I'm old. I don't really think I'm that old. But I graduated 10 years ago from York High, so class of 2013. And growing up, all I ever wanted to do was go to college to play basketball. Right, so before I talk to you guys about the opportunity thing, I want to give you guys some background on myself. I like to kind of paint the picture, but before I paint the picture, I want to give you guys the frame. So growing up in York, obviously I don't know how many of you guys know about York, but I seen a lot of things, right? I seen drugs, I seen people get shot, I seen people get killed, but I also seen people be successful. And all I knew was I wanted to be successful, but at 6 years old, the whole thing called success kind of confused me. Because I'll never forget where I was 6 years old, my parents got a divorce, they decided their marriage wasn't going to work anymore, and my mom moved to one side of the town, my dad moved to one side of the town, my parents acted like they didn't really know me, and it was just me and my brother. So me and my brother growing up, all we had was just that relationship, right? How many of you guys have siblings? You guys love them?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. So how many of you guys have friends that you consider like a sibling, like your best friend? So like growing up, that's what I had, right? So my parents got divorced when I was 6, so all I really had was me and my brother. And I'll never forget because my dad one time, he lived in the hood, right? And there was a drive-by shooting and bullets came through our front door. Bullets came right through the window. And that was the day my dad said we had to move. So growing up, I realized like this thing called life isn't promised, right? This thing called life isn't guaranteed. And I'll never forget because me and my brother, all we ever wanted to do was play basketball. So when I was you guys' age, when I was in middle school, I was in 8th grade and I played on the freshman basketball team and I was kind of good at it. So I said, okay, if I can keep playing basketball, I'll be able to get a scholarship, go to college, and I'll be able to be successful in this thing called life. So during high school, me and my brother, all I had was my brother, right? Me and him will come to school, we'll go to school after school, we'll go to practice, after practice we'll go to the gym, to shoot, to lift. Just a sidebar, if anybody wants to play one-on-one afterwards, I think Miss Landis can get us a basketball, we can play basketball after this. But all I remember was just playing basketball, me and my brother, all it was basketball. But how many of you guys know there's more to life than just sports, right? So I'll never forget because my brother graduated 2 years before I graduated. And when it was my chance to be a senior, today, right now, if you go into your High's gym, you'll look up and you'll see my name. It says Tavon Parker. I was a 1,000-point scorer. But now as an adult, I realize scoring 1,000 points in high school doesn't really do nothing for you, right? I can't go to a job and say, hey, I'm a 1,000-point scorer. Can you give me this job? Hey, I scored 1,000 points in high school. Can I have a raise? Right? So being an adult, the stuff you do now, guess what? It doesn't really do anything. But what I learned is every experience that we have is a teaching moment. So the stuff I learned in middle school, the stuff I learned in high school, the things that I did now affect me as an adult because guess what? The teamwork, the camaraderie, the hard work, the things that I had to do in order to be successful, I still have to do right now to this day. And I'll never forget because I ended up getting a scholarship to go to Millersville to play basketball, and this is where the whole opportunity thing comes in, right? Because in 2 short years, I ended up losing my scholarship in basketball. And I came back to York and I didn't know what to do. I want you guys to think about that. Think about working your whole life to accomplish something. The second you accomplish it, you blow the opportunity. And I say I lost my scholarship in 2 years, but the reality was I lost my scholarship years before that because when I was you guys' age, I started smoking weed. Right now, I know you guys got like vapes and stuff, right? I know none of you guys do that stuff. But when I was in high school, me and my friends, we would drink. We would smoke. But I was still going to the basketball court, and guess what? I was still getting buckets. So I thought it was cool. But what I learned is the negative stuff you do catches up with you. So I got to college and I was still doing the same thing. I was drinking, I was smoking, but what they didn't tell me was in college, if your grades are bad, you won't be able to play. Right? Like in high school, I had teachers that would look out for me, and if I had a bad grade, they would let me redo the paper, or they'd let me turn in late work. In college, they don't do that. So sometimes we get this thing called an opportunity in life, but what I learned is opportunities, sometimes they don't come back. Because as soon as I lost my scholarship, I never played basketball again in my life. Right? As soon as I lost my scholarship, I came back to York and I didn't know what to do. I knew I wanted to make money, so I started selling drugs. So now you have a kid who was successful, right? A kid who got a scholarship, which means my grades had to be decent. A kid who had an opportunity to get a college education, and instead of focusing on the opportunity I had, I blew it, and I came back to New York and started hanging out with people that never went to college, never wanted to go to college, never thought about college. So the first thing I want you guys to realize is the people that you hang around can literally dictate your success, right? Because they can help you elevate, or they can drag you down like an anchor. I just watched the movie Titanic with my daughter the other day, and I don't know if you guys know that big ship, but that big ship is in the bottom of the ocean, and that so is my life. Because by a show of hands, who knows what comes with being in the streets, selling drugs and shooting guns? Who knows what comes with that? What comes with it? I didn't hear you. Consequences. And the consequence I had to face was jail. Can you guys imagine that? A kid that is supposed to be in college playing basketball is now about to go to jail, all because he blew his opportunity. And not only was I about to go to jail, but my whole life was about to spiral. So I don't know who's in here who feels like they're in a bad spot, a bad situation. You might not have choices, you might not have opportunities, but the reality is because you guys are your age, because you guys are young, your whole life's ahead of you. And what I learned is if you find yourself in trouble, if you find yourself in a hole, you should probably stop digging. Because I didn't even realize what was happening to my life. Because I thought everything was good, right? I was selling drugs and I started making some money. And my wife's here, she was my girlfriend at the time. And I'll never forget, because me and her, we got this 1-bedroom apartment. So I was like, oh, we good, right? We went and got a car. We was like, you know how the drug dealers do. I had a bunch of jewelry. We went and got a car. We got this 1-bedroom apartment. And we put like a sheet up in the middle, so it's like the front room and the bedroom. So we was like big time, right? We had 2 bedrooms. But what I realized is there was roaches and there was rats running around, and I was like, we can't raise a kid here. So she ended up getting pregnant, so we moved to a 2-bedroom apartment. Whole time I'm still selling drugs, but watch this. My girlfriend was in college the whole time. This is why a relationship is so important. Because while I was doing wrong, she was doing right, and I'm a firm believer that the only reason I didn't get shot and killed was because God was favoring me because of her. But just shortly after that, we had my daughter's 7 now, we had my daughter and we moved to that 2-bedroom apartment, and I was like, hey, we're doing good, and then boom, life happened to me and I got arrested for my first time. And I had a 1/4 pound of weed in my backseat, and I had a gun on my lap. But because it was my first time getting arrested, I only got probation, right? 3 years of probation. So I was like, oh, okay, I know what I'm doing now. I won't get pulled over again. So I kept selling drugs, kept doing the same thing, and I'll never forget because shortly after that first time I got arrested, I almost got pulled over again, but like I said, I knew what I was doing now. I'm not pulled over for a cop, so I got in this police chase. Right, so when I was selling drugs, it would be me because I'm the driver, but I had 3 of my friends with me. So I'm selling weed, my one friend selling crack, my other friend selling dope, my other friend just likes to ride around with us, I don't know. But I'll never forget because all 3 of us pulled up to meet somebody and the cops pulled up behind us and we didn't know who the cop was there for. All we knew was I had to go. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I try not to lie, I'm a pretty good driver. So I got away. And I remember calling my wife and she said, what are you doing, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I got away. And she said, so where are you gonna go? I said, to the house. She said, don't come here, don't bring the cops here. Right, but that's why I love my wife, because she keeps it real with me. Raise your hand, do you have somebody that can be honest with you? Like without you getting mad, you got somebody that can be real with you? Because those are the type of people you gotta keep around you. Right, like when you skip class, somebody gotta be able to say, yo, dummy, don't skip class, you're gonna get in trouble. Right, like you should probably, don't vape in school. Like, hey, if you're gonna be on the basketball team, focus on basketball. Right, you gotta have people around you that can be real with you and be honest with you. Because if everybody around you lies, guess what? You're gonna be around a bunch of liars and they're gonna drag you down. Because I'll never forget the first time I went to jail, everybody I used to get in trouble with in middle school, they was the same people that was in there. It was like a big class reunion. Like, oh, TP, you finally made it. Like, I made it to jail. That's not where I wanted to be. But again, opportunity blown, life happens. So I'll never forget because obviously, like I told you guys, I went to jail, but I didn't just end up in jail. There was a series of steps that happened. So after the police chase, there was another incident where we was at the park when there was this op. Y'all got ops? Everybody got ops, right? So there was this op and he was riding around, and if he caught somebody by themselves, he would be shooting at them, trying to shoot them. So all me and my friends were at the park, we were playing basketball, and we see the op coming down. I grabbed a gun, I start shooting, the op starts shooting, my friend starts shooting. And I jumped in the car, I got home, I told my girlfriend, are you stupid? Why are you shooting? Like, you know what, I gotta stop telling you stuff. You already got something bad to say to me. Because I couldn't see it, right? I couldn't see the perspective she was coming from. I couldn't see that I'm risking my life for no reason. I couldn't see that she loved me more than I could love myself. A lot of times we can't see stuff when we're in it, but the reality is there are people that are around you that will see that your success before you can see it for yourself. But because I couldn't see it, I continued to do what I was doing, and because she loved me, she continued to tell me the truth, but continued to still be there for me. And I'll never forget the day because it was Valentine's Day. February 14th, 2016. No, 2017, I'm sorry, because it was a week after my daughter's first birthday. We moved to this new house, so instead of having like the little curtain up, instead of having a 2-bedroom apartment, now we had like a whole house. So I was like, oh yeah, we win it now. We had my daughter's birthday party, and a week later, I found myself in the back of a police car. Not only was I in the back of the police car, being on probation, I knew I was going to jail, but you guys would never guess why I was going to jail. Remember the first time? Second time, same thing. Quarter pound of weed in the back seat, gun on my lap. Tried to take off and run from the cop, ended up getting caught. So I called my girlfriend, like, hey, I'm about to go to jail. They just pulled me over. I'm on this street. I was on South Street, Duke Street. I know you guys aren't from New York, you probably don't know the streets, but I remember the street. Because there's some things that's going to happen in your life, I promise you're going to remember for the rest of your life. The only question I have for you is, do you want that to be bad things or good things? Because like I remember the birth of my daughter, but I still remember going to jail. Because she loved me so much, I called her, we were supposed to be going to lunch. She was out shopping, don't get me started on her shopping. She was out shopping, and I called her, she left the store she was at and pulled up right to where we was at. And the reason I remember this is so vividly is because the time, as soon as she got there, was the same time the police officers put me in the back of the car. And I looked out the window, and all I see is her standing there staring at me crying. And all I could do was go in the back of the car like this. Because our worst nightmare had came true. So a lot of times when we think about these opportunities, we're like, oh, I just lost my scholarship. But the reality was basketball saved my life up until I didn't allow it to anymore. And I'll never forget, because like I said, when I was running around selling drugs, doing the wrong thing, I used to run around with 3 people, right? And watch this, because again, the people that you're with can literally dictate your success. So the 3 people I was with, as soon as I got arrested, within a month of me being in jail, one of my best friends got shot and killed. The dude that used to ride right next to me, his name is Colin Smith Jr. And the dude that shot and killed him, I'll never forget, because it was all over a girl. And he caught my man lacking, and he had a Glock, 17 shots, and he shot, boom, boom, my man fell, and he emptied the whole clip. Boom, 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 17 bullets into my best friend. Closed casket. And I wasn't even there for the funeral. All because of the blown opportunity. All because I was sitting in jail. The other dude that used to ride with me, sitting in the back, a year ago we had to bury him. And the other dude, he's still running out in the streets, thinks he's invincible. And I don't say that to make you guys sad. I say that so you guys can start thinking, because the people that you're with literally can dictate your success. But if you think about it, the people that you're with have their own life too. Just like you have your own life. So if you don't have any goals, if you don't have any dreams, if you don't have any ambitions, that's when this thing called life can happen. That's when reality can happen. Because people don't plan to end up homeless, people don't plan to end up in jail, people don't plan to end up dead. But life does happen. But the good news is the story doesn't end there. Right? The good news is that's not how my life ended up. Because I told myself when I was sitting in jail that my daughter deserved better and my mom deserved better. So one thing I want you guys to think about is, who is it in your life that can motivate you? Right? Sometimes it's a friend, sometimes it's a brother, sometimes it's a sister, sometimes it's a parent, sometimes it's a teacher. But if you don't have anybody that can motivate you, inspire you, or push you to do better, you're going to run into something that's stronger and tougher than you, and it's going to break you. As a kid, as an adult, it will break you. Break you to your core, to the point where you don't even want to be here anymore. Who is it that can motivate you? Who is it that can inspire you? Because the reality is, once I got out of jail, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. By show of hands, does everybody know what they want to do when they get older? When I say older, I'm talking about like Dr. Walker and Miss Land. It's not my age. When you get like old. Oops. But can you guys see that far into your future? Is it being a teacher, a doctor? Is it being somebody that just sells drugs and uses drugs? What is it that you want to do? Because far too often when I talk to young people, they say they have no idea. And that's the scariest answer. Because if you don't have an idea or a plan or a thought of what you want to do, somebody out there does. They say by the 3rd grade, if you're not on reading level, they build a new jail cell for you. Because if you can't read by 3rd grade, that means you can't comprehend, that means you don't care enough about your life, that means that there's certain factors around you that are inhibiting your process. So the biggest thing I want you guys to take from this, yeah, I'm going to talk to you guys about life, about opportunities, but what is it that you want for your own life? Because no matter how bad they want your success for you, no matter how bad I want your success for you, the reality is if you don't want your success for you, you'll never see it. The reality is life can happen to anybody at any point in time, at any moment. So I sat in jail, and instead of me wasting time, I started putting a plan together, right? That's what the goal is for. The goal is for a plan for your life. What is it that you want to do? And I said, you know what? I was good at selling weed, but I didn't want to sell weed because I don't want to go to jail anymore. What can I do? So I started cutting grass, right? Instead of selling grass, I started cutting. I had a lawn care business. And I'm real creative when it comes to names, so my name is Tavon Parker. You never guess what my lawn care business is called. It's Tavon's Lawn Care. And I used to tell people, every year I can use some TLC. And I started walking up and down the street, knocking on people's doors, hey, do you need your grass cut? Hey, do you need your grass cut? And one by one, people started saying, yeah. And I worked for this company, right? The company is called Rent-A-Kid. Oh, that's crazy, right? You're like, you're gonna rent me. But they only pay $5 an hour. So I would cut this lady's yard and it would take me a full hour and she'll pay me $5. And it didn't take me long to realize like the money she's paying me is not equaling the work I'm doing. So I quit that and I started my own thing. But watch this, because I had my brothers with me and they helped me to build my lawn care business. And those 2 brothers that I had that helped me build my lawn care business, I'll never forget, because 2 years after I was released from prison, my brother was shot and killed. I ended up doing 14 months, right? So follow me with the math. I got arrested February 14th, 2017. I was released April 30th, 2018. February 26th, 2020, my brother got shot and killed. And to this day, his murder is unsolved. So when I say to you guys, do you have a friend that you consider a brother? When I say to you, do you have siblings? And if you're willing to do anything for your siblings, the only thing I want you guys to do is live for them. Because my brother died for me. But my only hope, my only thought was, I can't let his name go in vain. I can't let him die like that. So I started another business where we mentor and we show these young kids just how big this world is. Because my mother-in-law is here, she's from Jamaica. And guess what? I've never been to Jamaica. All I knew was the block I grew up on. And the stuff that people on the block was doing. So if you grow up and all you see is somebody drinking and all you see is somebody smoking, in your head you start thinking that's what everybody does, and the reality is that's not what everybody does. The reality is it's a big world up here full of opportunities, and unless you take advantage of your opportunities, guess what? Life's gonna happen to you. So I'll never forget, because after my brother was shot and killed, I said, okay, I need to change some stuff. My biggest goal was I want to be a millionaire. So I was cutting the grass, and we made like $100,000 one summer cutting grass. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then my brother got shot and killed, and I realized money doesn't really mean anything. Because when we buried him, we didn't bury him with a bunch of money. We didn't bury him with any jewelry. My brother was Muslim, so we wrapped him in toilet paper and buried him in a box. So when you guys start thinking about this thing called life, realize the opportunity that you have in front of you being, you guys are what, middle school is 12, 13, 14? Nobody's 18, right? Whew. You guys are 18 in middle school, it has some stuff to talk about. But because you guys are so young, that means you have the whole world in front of you. But that also means you have to take advantage of your opportunities. Right, because the biggest opportunity that people don't take advantage of is education. Believe it or not, there's families, there's places that you can go right now in this world that do not educate people. And nothing scarier than somebody that's dumb. Because usually if you don't have an education, you don't care about life. And somebody that doesn't care about life will take yours. So this is stuff for you guys to think about. This is stuff for you guys to really take in, because believe it or not, I'm a firm believer that you can do whatever you want to do. But I'm also a firm believer that you have to take advantage of your opportunities. So when I was younger and I used to play basketball, my brother used to push me, right? If we was in here right now, we play one-on-one full court, my brother used to motivate me, he used to inspire me, and then he left for college and I realized I had to start pushing myself. So one thing I want you guys to say is, it's on me. You guys gonna say it? It's on me.
It's on me.
1, 2. All right, let's do this side first. Let me hear this side. It's on me. It's on me. Okay, can you guys beat that? All right, this side. It's on me.
It's on me.
Okay, maybe there's more people over here. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3.
It's on me.
All right, all together. 1, 2, 3.
It's on me.
What is it that's on you though? Like your life, right? Your success, your failure, everything that you want to do, everything you want to be, everything you want to accomplish, just on you. But until you internalize that, guess what? You're going to blame other people. You'll use other people as excuses. You allow people to distract you. And give me, I want, we got time. I want 3 examples of what a distraction is, because I don't live your life for you. I can tell you what a distraction was for me: drugs. I need somebody to give me an example of a distraction. Yep. Video games, I like it. Friends, I like it. Relationships, I like it. Give me one more. Football, I thought you said something I couldn't repeat. Football. Family. Yep. Your phone. I like that one. Social media. And there's some of you guys in here today, I promise you, if you're not on social media so much, you'll be more successful. If you weren't so worried about the little boy or the little girl, you'll be more successful. If you weren't so worried about sports and you was worried about school, you'll be more successful. Because believe it or not, I was a kid at some point, but I still work with kids, so I know how it goes. You stay up all night on TikTok and you don't go to sleep till 2, 3 in the morning. Then you wake up at, what time? You guys the buses start at 6, so you wake up at 5 for school, and you eat a bag of Takis. I don't know why y'all eating Takis, it's trash, but y'all eat a bag of Takis, then you come to school. Takis don't sit right with my stomach. Right? But then on the way to school, the music that you're listening to is NBA YoungBoy telling you to F this and do this and do that. And then you like NBA YoungBoy, weed. I'm a dirt fan. But then you listen to this music and then you get to school and we expect you guys to come into school ready to learn. Right? We expect you guys to come into school and be respectful and listen. We expect you guys to come into school and think that you guys are going to get an education, not realizing that you guys are tired and hungry. But all those are distractions. If you were really locking on your success, how long would it take for you to reach the goal? I guarantee you, not as long as you think. But when all I was worried about was waking up and rolling a blunt and then going with my friends and drinking lean and popping perks, all I realized was I was on a road down destruction and that road led to jail. And when I walked in jail, like I told you guys, all my homies was there. It was like a big reunion. The only difference was at the end of the night, I wasn't going to bed with my wife. I was going to bed on a bunk bed with my cellmate down below me. And I usually don't like telling jail stories because I don't want people to think that I'm glorifying jail, but the reality is you see a lot. Right, because one of the first people that I met in jail was my cellmate, and I remember him because me and him grew up together. He was from out west, I was from out south, and I was like, yo, I didn't know you got booked. He was like, yeah, I've been here for a while. I said, what'd you get booked for? He said, remember that fight? I said, oh, you did get in a fight. Anybody here been in a fight before? Don't raise your hand. You don't gotta raise your hand, just wink at me. I don't want you guys to get in trouble. But he got in a fight, and I'll never forget because he got in a fight, and he hit the dude, boom. And when he hit the dude fell and he hit his head on the sidewalk and he bled out and he died. And my friend got charged with murder from a fight. I'll never forget because the dude that was right next to me, he used to sell heroin, right? We call it dope. He used to sell dope. And the dude that he went and met somebody one day was an old lady. He went and sold dope to the lady. The lady took the dope and she died. He got charged with murder. You see, most of the time when people go to jail, they're coming home, but there's a reality, there's a whole demographic of people that go to jail and they'll never see the day of light again. So when I see you guys, I get so emotional, I get so excited because you guys have your whole life in front of you. But the reality is, the percentages show, if you look to your left and you look to your right, all you guys won't be successful. The reality is some of you guys will probably end up in prison. And right now, at the sound of my voice, I know that there's some people in here that's just too cool, and the only way you're going to learn is to go through it. Because that's how I was. I knew it came with the streets, and I was like, you know what, I ain't going to go to jail. Until I was sitting in jail, and I was like, man, I don't want to be here. The food sucked, the people sucked, the walls are gray. I couldn't watch the Eagles. I'm glad we got some Eagle fans. But seriously, Ravens, sheesh.
We're the top of the freaking. We're the top.
We're talking about the Ravens later. But seriously, we don't realize the opportunities that we have until all of a sudden those opportunities are gone. We don't realize the things that are in front of us until all of a sudden we no longer have those things. But I realize that there's so many things that go into that. Because when we look at our environment, we have people that don't believe in us. We have ops that tell us how dumb we are. And we start worrying about things that we see on social media. So we already know that it's on me, right? My success, my life is on me. But the second thing I need you guys to do, and I need you guys to actually believe it, because if you don't believe it, that means you believe the opposite. So I want you guys to repeat after me. I am smart.
I am smart.
I like this side. This side, come on. I am smart.
I am smart.
I can do anything. I can do anything.
I can do anything.
All right, all together. I am smart and I can do anything. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I am smart and I can do anything.
All right, this sounds like we really believe it. 1, 2, 3.
I am smart and I can do anything.
So the reality of the matter is you can't do anything. And if I was in a room with everybody one-on-one and I said, what is it that you want to do in the future? And you said, I don't know. And I said, well, think about it. Some of you guys might say, I want to be in the NBA. I want to be in the NFL. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. No matter what you want to do, you can do it. And the reality is it doesn't matter what age. See, the trick is, you have to be 20. You have to be 25. You have to be 30. You have to be 70. You have to be a certain age. No, Dr. Walker's not 70. He's not 60. But you have to be a certain age in order to accomplish a certain thing. But the truth of the matter is I started my lawn care business when I was 14 years old. And Miss Landis used to hire me to cut her grass. That's called believing in somebody. And when you look around and you see your teachers, you see your administrators, you see these people that come here to work, they believe in you. Because I never forget, I was talking to a young man and he told me, yo man, I ain't gonna lie, man, my teacher, man, she don't like me, man. She one of my ops for real, she be hating. And I said, why would an adult go to college to get a job to hate on you? You ain't that important. But we make this lie and when we start telling ourselves these things, and the truth is when people are hard on you, it's because they see something in you. Right? The truth is when people are hard on you, they see your success is on the other side of your, I don't want to call you guys stupid, but your success is on the other side of your silliness. That's a good word, silliness. But if you guys can't see it for yourself, there's nothing they can do. And I know I got to get you guys out of here, so I'll end with this story because I'm a firm believer that you guys are the next generation. I'm a firm believer you guys are a chosen generation. I'm a firm believer that this world isn't going to be what it needs to be if you don't walk in your purpose and accomplish your goals and accomplish your dreams. But I also realize that there's two sides to that thing, so I'll tell you guys this story before I get us out of here. And this story is about two old people in a nursing home. You guys know anybody in a nursing home? So like if you don't, a nursing home is kind of set up like a hospital, right? Like you have a bed here, and then there's a sheet, and then there's a bed here. And those two people usually talk a lot. So there was these two old people in a nursing home. One guy was by the window, one guy was by the door. And the guy that was by the door always asked the guy that was by the window to look outside and tell him what he saw. So the guy would always tell him, he's like, oh man, I see there's a dog out there chasing a tail. Oh, somebody just got proposed to. Oh, there's a beautiful sunshine. He would always paint this beautiful picture, right? And one day that guy that was by the window died. And you don't gotta feel bad because old people, it happens, right? Everybody has a date. But when that guy died, the guy that was by the door said to the nurse, hey nurse, can you move me over there by the window? And the nurse, she was like a lady, she's like in her 30s. She's like, dude, I can't pick you up and move you nowhere. I'm not doing that. And the guy said, please, can you move me over there to the window? And the lady said, why? He said, I want to go to the window so I can see all the great stuff that my friend was seeing. I want to see the stuff he was telling me about. Can you move me by the window? So the lady said, okay, she went and got 2 strong people, like Dr. Walker. And he came, they picked him up, they put him on the other bed. My guy looked out the window. He said, hold on, nurse, there's something wrong. All I see is a brick wall. The wall is just like, all I see is a wall. What happened to the dog chasing her tail? What happened to the lady getting engaged? What happened to the son? All I see is this wall. And the lady's like, what are you talking about? Like, you capping, I don't know what you're talking about. And the dude said, my friend told me about this great stuff. I don't need glasses, but I can't see it. And the lady said, you didn't know. And now the dude getting mad, right? He's like, oh my God, you must be an op too. I didn't know what. And she's like, you serious? You didn't know? He's like, I didn't know what? She said, you didn't know that your friend by that window was blind? He couldn't see out that window if he wanted to. Everything he told you that he saw was for your benefit. He wanted to make your day better. That old man started crying because he never knew that his friend was trying to make his life better. So when you guys think about your life, you guys think about the opportunities you guys have in front of you, you guys think about your sibling, your friend, I want you guys to think about how can you make somebody else's life better? Because my coach told me a long time ago, as long as you make somebody else's life good, your life will always be taken care of. My name is Tavon Parker. Thank you guys for your time.